So as leaders, we seek something far more expansive, far more subversive than church growth. We seek God's gloriously good future on and for absolutely everything. Our goal is not merely building better churches, but better families, better workplaces, better industries, and better communities. It's the story of God in 1,000 places, His supremacy in every corner of culture. It's expansive hope invading cities through scattered servants. See, kingdom leadership, ladies and gentlemen, is never about growing your reach, growing your ministry, or your platform. It's about building an altar and living surrendered to the living God. See, the kingdom advances through compassion, not dominion. We don't take our cities for God. We love our cities with God. The posture of the church to the city is not as conqueror, but as servant. See, those who shape the future live surrendered to the Father. They don't seek influence. They walk in obedience. They are not the movers and the shakers. They are the moved and the shaken. And they spend their days building altars, not platforms. See, the movement is not created, manufactured, or orchestrated. It is initiated and sustained by the Spirit of God. See, you don't build a movement through strategy. You enter His movement with humility, submitting to the affection, to the direction, and to the correction of the Spirit of God. See, Eric Swanson said this. He says, we don't engage the needs and dreams of our communities so that they will become Christians. We engage the community because we are Christians. See, the dreams of God, ladies and gentlemen, they lie just beyond the doors of our churches. See, most of modern discipleship has focused on making believers strong enough to survive the culture instead of making believers bold enough to transform the culture. See, new creations create new things unseen in the earth. And we're not called only to raise up leaders, but we're called to raise up innovators, creators, pioneers, and brokers of a better future and a better church. United in this auditorium today, and we can be confident and we can say together that there is another wave of worshipers coming. There are a group of worshipers who move from the stage to the streets. They know more about covenant than celebrity, who trade visibility for secrecy and builds altars, not platforms. There's another wave of worshipers coming. There's another wave of worshipers arising. They are arising who are not celebrities nor consumers, but are marked by covenant. People who worship God with freedom and fearful awe, who care little for the worship industry, but give everything in intimacy. Worship, ladies and gentlemen, is coming home. We can leave here knowing that it should be God first, kingdom next, and your brand, your church brand, way down at the bottom of the list. You never put your brand before the culture of the kingdom. Never put your brand before your brother. Never put your brand before those that you serve, and allow your brand to separate you from the people of God. So over the past few days, I've gotten a chance to sit down with 83 of you. We've spoken about strategies, we've spoken about culture, we've spoken about surviving the mess of ministry. You'll understand once again that you are called to mess, that ministry is not a microphone, but it is a mess, and you've been called to it. So you cannot throw in the towel, you cannot give up, but God has given you strategies, God has given you systems, and from talking with me, from speaking with me, you learn that I am a systems guy, that I am an organized guy, that I believe that your systems have to be matched with your culture, and your culture has to match your faith, and your faith match your expectations, so that the will of God for your individual organization can come to fruition. So I am a systems guy, but I want you to know that there's something called impossibilities. And I want you to be encouraged and know this, that impossibility is the gateway to the future. It is a narrow gate. It is sad to say that many of us as leaders, we miss it. Why? Because we lean upon our own truths. We prefer to lean upon our truths. We prefer to lean upon our trusted techniques and our achievable goals. Yet transformation of all things can never be accomplished through structures. It can never be accomplished through systems, and transformation of all things can never be accomplished through strategies. Transformation of all things can only be accomplished through the Spirit of pastors and leaders. As we leave this building and as we leave this beautiful campus and go back to our churches, go back to organizing, go back to creating systems, go back to strategizing, as we go back to building, as we go back to leading, as we go back to now creating more so that we can advance the kingdom of God, so we can make heaven as crowded as possible, as we go back to add souls to the kingdom of God, as we go back to not just occupy, but to occupy for the sake of advancement. I want you to remember this P. Forget about this P standing before you, but remember this P. Remember prayer. I want you to pray. I want you to pray persistently. I want you to pray in His presence. I want you to pray out your passion. I want you to pray through your pain. I want you to pray into the promises. And I want you to pray over the prophecies. You will be able to say like Nehemiah, I'm doing a great work and I cannot come down. You are on assignment. You cannot quit. You cannot throw in the towel. You cannot give up. You cannot walk away until everything that God has shown you in your spirit, everything that you have hoped for, has now come to pass. Nehemiah, you're doing a great work. You cannot come down. God bless you.